C1. You are listening at FameTV.info. In his dreams, Anwan's pajamas were torn off by a large, ice-cold hand. A heart-wrenching pain caused her to open her eyes all of a sudden, and she saw the man that was rampaging through her body. South. Surprised, her heart started beating rapidly. Who else could it be other than her, Li Jingnan? But he had died 3 months ago. How could he suddenly appear here? Dream. He must be dreaming again. In these 3 months, it was almost impossible for her to sleep at night. When she finally fell asleep, he would once again appear in her dreams. However, the him in her dreams had always been as gentle and affectionate as before. Why did he become a dream today? Looking at the man's familiar face and the familiar sound of breathing, Anye's heart ached. Spring dreamed then, when he was still alive, she had never been with him in such a way. As long as she could be with him, she would do anything. As he thought of this, he wrapped his arm around the man's neck and took the initiative to climb up to kiss him. Jingnan, I love you. It really is cheap. Li Jingnan spoke sarcastically, avoiding her lips. Jingnan, what's wrong with you? Shut up. The man yelled in annoyance and pressed his hand on her shoulder. He roughly flipped her over and stabbed her through her back. Ah! Anye cried out in pain, her forehead dripping with cold sweat. That heart-wrenching pain was too real. It woke her up very quickly. Although the lights in the room were not turned on, the moonlight was bright, and everything in the room could be seen clearly. This was not a dream. This is real. South. Tell me, this is not a dream. You're not dead, are you? She asked in a trembling voice. In his heart, he was swept up by a feeling of shock, surprise, and ecstasy. Ha! Li Jingnan roughly turned her over again, and continued to ram into her. He raised his hand to pinch her chin as he spoke. I'm not dead. Are you disappointed? He asked, grinding his teeth. His voice was like ice, chilling. Anye looked at the man on top of her with wide eyes. Jingnan, why do you say that? It's him. His face hasn't changed, and his voice is still. It was just that the atmosphere had turned cold. His eyes, which could not be seen clearly, seemed to be surging with rage, sinister to the point of being terrifying. Isn't it you who wants me dead the most? Why put on airs? The man coldly snorted and released her, but his movements became even more violent. I am the one who wants you alive the most. Annihilation hurriedly said, not caring about her nearly crushed chin. Even if this really was a dream, she couldn't let him misunderstand her. A fake woman with a mouth full of lies. Li Jingnan angrily said one sentence, and like a fierce beast, he began to rush inside her body. He felt like a small boat floating in the deep sea, ready to sink at any moment. He was hit so hard that he didn't even have the chance to say a word. After an unknown amount of time, the man gave a stuffy grunt and pulled away from her. How long has it been since I died? Are you in such a hurry to repair your hymen? Are you looking for your next home? The man snorted and got out of bed. The sound of the door being flung open awakened Anwan from her dream. Like days. She instantly regained consciousness and jumped up from the bed, but the pain below her caused her to suck in a breath of cold air. The next second, her eyes were burned by the piercing red glow on the bed. It was her virgin blood. Could it be that everything that had just happened was real? Impossible. 3 months ago, she had seen with her own eyes that Jingnan had closed his eyes after several months of suffering. How could he have come back to life? There was no time to think about it. She endured the pain all over her body and quickly put on her nightgown and ran out barefoot, south. Listen to the full novel at FameTV.info, direct link in the description.